parents, disrespected and made fun of my late mother in front of her whole family. So I called off the wedding immediately, right in front of everyone. Hi everyone. Before we dive in, a quick favor. If you enjoy content like this, please hit the subscribe button. It's free, supports the channel, and makes sure you never miss out on amazing videos. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so here's where it starts. I'm 33, and until recently, I was engaged to Lydia. This woman I honestly thought I'd spend the rest of my life with. I met her about 7 years ago through mutual friends at a cookout. She had this great smile, she was quick with a joke, and we just clicked. I didn't think twice when I decided to propose a year ago. It felt like the right time, the right person. At the time, I wasn't just marrying Lydia. I was also, in a way, marrying her family. Her parents, Jack and Donna, are the kind of people who love to be the center of attention. They're loud, opinionated, and always seem to have a comment about everything. At first, I thought it was just their personality, but over time, I started seeing how their entitlement bled into everything they did. Before we dive into what went down, let me talk about my mom. Her name was Patricia, and she was hands down the best person I've ever known. She passed away 2 years ago after battling cancer for 3 brutal years. Watching her fight that disease and still find ways to put other people first, it was humbling. She taught me so much about kindness, generosity, and standing up for what's right. My mom wasn't just my rock, she was a lifeline for a lot of people. She had this way of stepping in and helping people without making them feel embarrassed or indebted. Like she'd just quietly do what needed to be done. And that included Lydia's family. Jack and Donna owe so much to her, but you wouldn't know it by how they talk about her now. Back when I first introduced Lydia to my mom, it went well enough. My mom liked Lydia, she told me so, and Lydia seemed polite. But as things got more serious, it became obvious that Lydia didn't really get along with my mom. It wasn't anything dramatic, just small comments here and there, like how Lydia would call my mom overly involved or a little too eager to help. It rubbed me the wrong way, but I figured it was just nerves or Lydia trying to adjust to being part of a new family. The thing is, my mom did a lot for Lydia's family. Years ago, when their restaurant was on the verge of shutting down, my mom co-signed a loan to help them out. No one else would take that risk, but my mom believed in them. She even helped them organize their finances and put together a plan to make the business profitable again. And it worked. The restaurant survived, and Jack and Donna were able to keep their livelihood. But it didn't stop there. When their restaurant's industrial oven broke down, they didn't have the money to replace it. My mom paid for it outright because she didn't want them to lose business. She never asked for the money back, even though she could have used it for her own medical bills later on. That's just who she was. And then there was Lydia's older brother, Ryan. He was struggling to finish college because he couldn't afford tuition for his last semester. My mom stepped in and covered the cost so he wouldn't have to drop out. She said, "Education is one thing no one can take away from you." It wasn't just money she gave, it was time and energy. She spent hours helping Lydia's family with everything from bookkeeping advice to babysitting Ryan's kids so he could focus on studying. And let me tell you, not once did Jack, Donna, or Ryan ever thank her properly. Sure, they said thanks in passing, but there was no real acknowledgement of what she'd done for them. My mom never cared about that, though. She wasn't in it for the recognition. She just wanted to help people. When my mom passed away, I was devastated. She was my world, and losing her felt like a piece of me was gone forever. Lydia was there for me during the worst of it, or at least I thought she was. Looking back, I realized that a lot of her support was more about doing the bare minimum. She'd say things like, "You need to move on," or "Your mom wouldn't want you to be stuck in grief," which, yeah, maybe was true, but it didn't feel comforting. It felt dismissive. Leading up to the wedding, I started noticing more red flags. Lydia was weirdly dismissive anytime I